Hello and welcome to another Wednesday evening chat with Louise. Yes, I'm back. I feel like I'm back as well. For those of you who watched Sunday's vlog, you'll know the reasons why I disappeared and the stress I've been living with. And it got me thinking about, I was talking to my friends. I've got a lot of lovely friends. We all have different ideas spiritually, if you like, about why we're here, what we're doing here. And it got me thinking about the soul contracts and whether you believe in those or life lessons or kind of what we sign up for before we come. Whether, is this a game? Is this just like a video game we're living in within a matrix? Or is it at a soul level something that you say, right, I'll come back and I'll do these lessons in this life? And I'm pretty sure one of my lessons was to learn patience. Because obviously this planning thing I talked about on Sunday has been going on for 4 years. And I think if somebody had said to me, are you prepared to live the way you're living in my little place or for 4 years, would I have done it knowing that? Because all the time I've been thinking, it was originally I thought 6 months, so obviously 4 years is a lot longer than I expected. Would I actually have done it if I'd have known? And it made me really sit and think about that. And then I also dawned on me that, okay, yes, we've got another marker, if you like, along the path achieved, but I've still got to sell them. So now I've got the next bit of patience. You can't micromanage it. You just have to let the universe do its thing. I have no control over if the right person comes along or timing or everything like that. And I do find the times when I let go and allow, that's something I'm working on a lot, that just let it go. You can't micromanage everything and just allow things to fall into place. Once I stop interfering, mostly things do fall into place. So we also had a little talk the other day about the things in our life that when we look back, patterns that repeat when we've obviously not learnt the lesson. And I did have to have a little smile about a few of those. And it's interesting, it's very easy to see when it's somebody else. I'll often see friends and think, yep, they didn't learn last time and they're doing it again. Often it can be relationships. You think that you've with a different person, but when you get to know them, the package was maybe a bit different, but the traits were the same. And often it's to do with self-worth, how you value yourself, how you allow people to treat you, and they can be big life lessons. And I also find that when you're starting to go off this soul contract or this path, that you can actually it really starts to feel, you don't feel right in yourself. That's the best way to describe it. Nothing's everything feels like it's going like this. Nothing's meeting, nothing's going along. So you kind of have to listen, and I think sometimes we get so busy that we don't listen to the fact that we've gone off. Whether it's a timeline, people talk about dimensions, about timelines, all that time isn't in existence and everything's happening at the same time, and there's different versions of us in different timelines, living different aspects of those lives. And if you break that right down to the point where you think every second is a different timeline or millisecond, and that when I went out the gateway this morning and I decided to go right, and when I came home I decided to carry straight on by the property so I could have a look how the grass was growing rather than, but yeah, I was lazy, I know, should have walked round, but I'll have a quick drive by and yeah, the grass does need cutting. But it's things like that. Did another version of me go right? Did another version of me go straight on? Did another, and I just, that just fascinates me, the whole quantum physics side of things, like the split atom experiment where they watched, and when an atom was watched, it behaved differently to when it wasn't being watched. So it's like if a tree falls in a wood and nobody sees it. I love it. I just love it. I love to hear people's theories on it and what you feel about it. So if you've got any comments on that as well. But I do find when you're tootling along on your little path, and then suddenly sometimes people can appear in your life, and it might only be for a brief split second, but it has a real energetic feeling about it, as if to say, yeah, they are significant for that moment, whether it be fleeting, they're going to be friends for life or whatever. Just suddenly, you just know. And I remember when a few years back when we all went to this new development group, my friend Jenny walked in, she's my friend now. I didn't really know any of the people there at all, and yet 3 of us are still really, well, 4 of us. I have 3 friends that are good friends now from them that time. And she walked in the room and somebody said in my head, you two are going to be friends. And yet our age, there's a big age difference. You know, there's so many reasons why we wouldn't be friends, but at a soul level, I know we're friends, and I feel there are lifetimes or consecutive lifetimes. I haven't quite got my head around that one yet, but yes, we've definitely got a history in another time. So that again fascinates me. And a little while ago I just felt a bit lost, I think is the best way to describe it. When you're trying your best and then suddenly somebody pops up or something pops up and you get that, can't really describe it. It just is a feeling that is very different to everyday life. And it lasted for about 2 days. And I thought some people describe them as markers on your soul path. So you've got this, it's all marked out, little markers along the way, and how you get there is up to you. And it was like I'd suddenly come back onto that marker. That's the only way I can describe it. And then suddenly, this last few weeks, even though I felt there was still some lessons in there, things have clicked into place. And I did think at the time, why wasn't it straightforward? Why didn't it just happen? Why did it have to have that extra bit on it that just made it more expensive and more difficult? And perhaps, again, it's back to that, my lesson in patience and trust and allowing. And I just think, I was starting to try and manage things. I was starting to get frustrated. I wasn't being patient. I wasn't allowing, and I had lost the trust in the process. So maybe that is what my lesson is, and will carry on being. So at the minute now, we're back to, it would be very easy because when you're with an estate agent, you have an app and you can go on every day onto this app and look at who's viewed it, who's asked for more details, stuff like that. And I could honestly go on there 2 or 3 times a day just to see, and it's like, well, what good's that doing? I'm not living in the moment, and I'm not trusting, I'm not allowing, and I'm not being patient. So I have banned myself from doing that. And I'm going to keep going, and it feels the right thing to do. So meanwhile, what do? You live in the moment. You live in this day for what this day is. I've got my list for the day all written out, and then I shall just work my way through it. And that I can control. So for somebody that's a bit of a control freak, my friends will laugh if they're watching this because I am. That helps me, but it's not trying to micromanage the future. It's not getting carried away with things that are my concern but aren't my concern, if you know what I mean. And then equally, it allows me to live this day in every moment in the way I'm happy. And then when I've achieved that, that makes me so happy. I am one of those people that could get up, brush teeth, wash your hair, put your makeup on, because then I can tick them off my list and it makes me feel like I've achieved. I know that's sad, isn't it? But yes, so I feel like I'm back on track again. I feel like I'm really happy to be here again. Thank you so much for the lovely comments the other day. And yes, love to hear from you, how you feel about whether we really have soul contracts, timelines, anything like that. Fascinates me. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you once again for being here. I really appreciate you.